the union's inspiration. Through the workers' rush and run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet would force on others weaker than the feeble strength of one. But the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
So thank you so much, members of the Fourth Estate. My name is Dr. Davji Bimji Atela, the National Secretary General for KMPDU, and with me here is Dr. Kaura Mundia, who is the Vice Chairman for KMPDU, and Dr. Okumu, who is the NEC member and the Chairman for Lower Eastern Region. Together with us are the doctors of Machakos. We are here for two reasons, and the first reason is that there is frustration that the county government of Machakos has caused upon the doctors. That despite the strike that took place in this county before, where there was an agreement on the issues of promotions with the county did not comply to this. We then had a national strike that went for 56 days, that then had an agreement that all the issues pertaining to promotions will be implemented by 1st of September 2024. And this county contravened this particular agreement and has not implemented. The doctors went on strike 60 days ago. And this county has been playing cat and mouse games with the doctors, refusing to honor this agreement, refusing to implement them. And counties have been seen and been quoted a number of times saying they will not implement and they will not honor return to work agreements. But now we are here today when doctors working in Machakos have felt the pain of the patients and have decided and said that they are ready to go back to work. But the county government has said, no, you cannot go back to work because we cannot pay you your money that we owe you for the periods that you've not been paid. So we are saying today that the governor of Machakos, the county government of Machakos, wherever it is that you've kept money that is meant for doctors, pay the doctors if you want the doctors to report back to work. Because it's quite critical, it's quite important that the doctors be paid, without which you don't expect any services to be offered in the facilities. I must also say that Machakos County joins the other 47 counties across the country who have not implemented the collective bargaining agreement, the very critical components of it that are seeing an increment of wages in the doctors. They have not honored this agreement in the month of July, the month of August, September, October, and now December. So it is quite critical that in the budget of the county, that the CBA that has not been implemented for the last 7 years, the money that is owed to doctors ought to reflect in those particular pay slips. So yes, the national strike that is to commence on 22nd of December 2024, Machakos, together with all other counties, will be part of it, unless the county complies and pays these doctors, the county complies and implements the CBA. And I must also insist that even if we go for a national strike and the county has not paid the wages that are owed to the doctors, the Machakos County doctors will still remain out, because it is important that agreements are honored and agreements are kept sacred. I know that we've been in the whirlwind of courts with the county government, but I want to remind the governor and the county that the CBA that they have not implemented is a court order. The return to work formula that we signed on 8th of May 2024 is a court order. That it is not the court that will come here and treat the patients. It is the agreement or honoring the agreement that you have with the doctors that will actually treat the patient in these hospitals. So all the deaths that are happening when the doctors are on strike, all the deaths that are happening when the doctors are demonstrating is on the insufficiencies and inefficiencies of the county government. So they have to actually style up and act. I also want to say that because we have been offering the minimum services in this county and in this county of Machakos during this strike, it has emboldened the county not to really look into the issues that doctors raised. And therefore, as of today, we are going to ask our doctors who have been offering minimal services in these facilities, including the medical superintendents, that there is need to completely down the tools and shut down the facilities. And this is a call that the county will not act until they feel it. We need to all get out of the facilities effective immediately so that county can actually release the money that are owing for the doctors. That is a call that we're having today. The other thing is that next week on Tuesday, the 18th, the doctors in Machakos County will be demonstrating to show their displeasure with the management of this county, because it is not right, it is not fair, it is not justifiable to owe the money that are owed to doctors and not to implement court orders that are directed towards a public officer. Thank you. Any questions? The problem is that the county secretary has decided to be stubborn and to be stubborn with people's lives. It is not right to mislead the public over the issues. The things that we are demanding for to be implemented by Machakos County government are straightforward issues. The issues to deal with promotions, the issues to deal with payment of salaries, the issues to deal with postgraduate training. So there is no any way that you will regard that that is the officials that are misleading the other doctors if they have not implemented. They should show us that they have promoted doctors and doctors on strike. They should show us that they have paid doctors and they are on strike. They should show us that they have actually paid loans and certain deductions and doctors are on strike. You will realize that they have done nil of that. So we don't want to be taken to sideshows of incompetent county secretaries and county leaders and demand that they need to ought to do their job. And for us, as workers and as doctors, the only thing that we can have to bargain with intransigent employers is our skills. And therefore we will not allow injustice and continue working. And we are saying that we are going to have a series of demonstrations against these ineffective leaders that have been elected, so that the people of Machakos can actually get health care. It's not right that counties will go into a state of blame games instead of resolving the issues that are there at hand. We can't allow that. Thank you. Kisema kuwa tulikuwa tuko na ile ukarimu wa madaktari ya kupatiana minimal services. Kwa hivyo ni kama serikali imeamua kutupatia dhuluma. Kwa hiyo minimal services ambayo tulikuwa tunawapatia hawaoni ile area ya kuhakikisha kuwa zile matakwa zetu zimetekelezwa. Ndio maana leo tumesema kwa zile minimal services ambazo zilikuwa zikifanyika, tutaambia madaktari watoke nje. Kwa sababu hao madaktari wanahitaji hizi promotions, hao madaktari wanataka ile nyongeza wa mshahara ambao ulikubaliwa katika ile CBA itekelezwe. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa na ile nia nzuri, kwa sababu kama madaktari tunapoenda mgomo hatuna nia ya magonjwa kuteseka ama kukufa. Lakini ikiwa serikali imekuwa na ile hali ya utukutu ama ile hali ya kutowajibika, ni lazima sasa pia tuchukue ile msimamo kali kwa uso. Ndio tumekubaliana ya minimal services, tulikuwa tumesema kotini. So tutawaambia watoke hospitalini ili county secretary nao watu wa county waende wajifanyie makazi au waende wajifanyie kazi au waende watibu magonjwa. Kwa jumla nchi nzima kuna ile 3.5 billion ambayo na madaktari yafaa ilipwe. Lakini katika county ya Machakos ni shilingi milioni 62 ambayo inafaa iwekwe katika lipa madaktari. Na kwa promotion ambayo tulikuwa tunahitaji ni milioni 3 tu ambayo ilikuwa inafaa ishikilie. Kwa hivyo it is lack of the priority. That's why most of the things that we are demanding are not being implemented. I want to tell you that the period we've been on strike will have actually generated that revenue for the county. But the county are not looking at the bigger picture. They don't want to resolve the issue at hand, and they want to divert the money that is meant for doctors for other activities, and we cannot allow that. That's why we are saying the best positive way to show that there is need to end the strike is for the county to release the funds that are holding for the doctors first hand, before any other discussions. Thank you. The doctors are not on strike. It is the government on strike. We have a return to work formula that we gave them to sign, but they don't want to sign it. It means they are on strike. And I mean, these governments are made up of people who are driven by ego instead of issues. So as we speak today, doctors are ready to be at work. We have a draft return to work formula for them, but they have not signed it. So who is on strike here? It is the government who is in strike. It is the county government of Machakos on strike. It's not the doctors. That if they sign this agreement as directed by the court, then I can tell you doctors will be back to work within 24 hours or less. So yes, the persons on strike are the county government who have decided not to actually implement agreements and not to sign a return to work agreement, which is just a promissory note, because probably they know that they will not implement those things. The other aspect is that they do not want to release monies for the doctors if they're going back to work. So I don't know whether they want to offer them the ambulance services or their vehicles for doctors to come with to work. So there's no possibility of saying that the doctors are on strike. It is the government on strike. You know, the truth is that the ineffectiveness between the national government and the county government is not our business. And whether the national government releases money to counties or not, that is not our problem. Our business is to offer services, and for us to offer services, we must be supported and facilitated. And when the county government claims to be an employer, they must have plan and contingencies to handle this. That's one critical thing. So we are talking about 170 doctors here who offer services in Machakos County, whose salaries have not been paid, whose promotions have not been seen, and all the agreements pertaining to their welfare have been ignored by the county. So I don't think the national government advises the county government not to implement the things that they have agreed with the doctors. Yeah. Thank you. Leaders, you must look at whether the leaders have your interest at heart or their own personal interest. For a governor or a county government not to implement agreements and people going on strike without implementing it means they have no interest. They don't have your interest. Health is a right. And as a right, we must hold the people we elect in the offices accountable. The MCAs, the MPs, and the senators and the governor must be held accountable. So I would ask the people of Machakos County to hold the people that they have elected into office accountable, that they must be people of decency, that they should keep their promises, honor the agreements. We don't want this culture of lies that the government has been spreading in the county government and national government. So yes, the problem is the county. The county must sign an agreement that we have so that the doctor can be back to work immediately. We are not politicians, and I'm not a political candidate in Machakos or anywhere in this country. And we have issues to be implemented. And I must tell the governor that the doctors are ready to go back to work. But tell your officers to sign the agreement that we presented to them. That is releasing the money that will make them reach the hospitals. If that is done today, they'll be back to work tomorrow.
Viva que pediu viva! Viva! Viva que pediu viva!
Viva!